Back in 2019, I was driving home from my girlfriend's place just after midnight. I lived in a small town about 40 minutes away, and the fastest route took me through a long, narrow tunnel carved into the side of a mountain. Locals called it the Echo Tunnel, mostly because of how sound bounced around inside it. It was the kind of tunnel with no lights inside, just solid concrete walls and pitch blackness if your headlights weren't working. I'd been through it dozens of times and never thought twice about it. That night, I entered the tunnel like usual, with my headlights on and music low. About halfway through, I noticed something strange. The walls looked different, almost like there were shadows moving along them, but there was nothing in front of me that could be casting them. I slowed down a bit. That's when I noticed the lights. Up ahead, maybe 50 feet in front of my car, there were two dim red lights. Small, low to the ground. I assumed it was another car stopped in the tunnel. Maybe someone broke down. I slowed to a crawl, expecting to see a hazard light flashing or someone waving for help. But as I got closer, the red lights suddenly turned off. I stopped completely, rolled down my window. No sound, no movement, nothing but echoing silence. I edged forward cautiously, headlights sweeping through the tunnel. There was no car, no bike, no sign of anyone or anything. Just emptiness. I picked up speed, ready to get out of there. But just before I exited the tunnel, my engine sputtered. The dashboard lights flickered. My radio cut to static. Then, everything died. The car shut off. I was still rolling, and thankfully, the slope of the road carried me out of the tunnel and into open night. A few seconds later, the engine roared back to life on its own. Radio back. Headlights on. As if nothing happened. I didn't stop to question it. I drove straight home, adrenaline surging. The next day, I checked the tunnel online. Apparently years ago, a truck had crashed in there, caught fire and killed 2 people. The truck's taillights had been found fused to the concrete from the heat, and they were red. I haven't driven through Echo Tunnel since, and I still wonder if I'd stopped my car when I saw those lights. Would they have stayed off? I used to do late-night deliveries for a local warehouse, mostly driving between towns on quiet backroads. One night, around 2 a.m., I was about halfway through my route, deep in the countryside with nothing but trees and fields on either side of me. I'd driven that road 100 times, but that night felt different. The air felt thicker, the silence heavier. I had my music on low, headlights slicing through the darkness, when I saw something ahead on the shoulder. A man was standing just off the road, not walking, not flagging me down, just standing there, facing the trees, completely motionless. I slowed down instinctively. At first, I thought he might be in trouble, maybe a stranded driver or someone needing help. But as I got closer, I realized something was off. He wasn't near any car. He wasn't holding a phone or waving. He was just standing there, completely still, facing away from the road. As I passed him, I tried to get a better look. He was wearing a dark hoodie and jeans, and I swear he was barefoot. His hands were at his sides, and his head slightly tilted up, like he was listening for something. The moment I passed him, I got full-body chills. Something told me don't stop. Don't look back. I drove for a few minutes, trying to calm myself, convincing myself it was just a weird homeless guy or someone on drugs. But then, About 5 miles down the road, my headlights picked up another figure on the side. It was the same man. Same clothes. Same posture. Same weird, frozen stance. Facing away from the road again. I slammed on the brakes. There was no way he could have gotten ahead of me. I hadn't passed any turns or side roads, and I was doing 60 the whole time. I sat there for a few seconds, heart racing. Then I drove around him, this time much faster. I didn't dare look directly at him. I just wanted to get out of there. About 10 minutes later, I reached a gas station at the edge of town and pulled in, trying to collect myself. The place was closed, but the lights were on. I sat in the lot, debating whether to call someone or just head home and try to forget it. Then I looked in my side mirror. There was a figure standing just beyond the light of the station, still watching. I didn't wait to see if it was him. I tore out of the lot and drove straight home, ignoring every stop sign. I never took that route again, and I never saw him again. But sometimes, when I drive alone at night, I can't help but check the side of the road, just in case he's standing there waiting. I used to work as a rideshare driver to make extra money during college. Most of my shifts were at night, usually uneventful, just drunk people or quiet riders heading home from late shifts. But there's one night I'll never forget, and I haven't been the same since. It was a Friday, around 1:30 a.m. I had just dropped someone off on the outskirts of the city, where things got a little more rural. I was heading back toward downtown when I got another request. The pickup point was down a long, poorly lit road that led to a cul-de-sac surrounded by trees. When I got there, the app said my rider's name was Ellie. No profile picture, just the name. I pulled up and waited. After a minute, a woman walked out from between two houses. Not from a house, between them, like from a narrow alley. She was wearing a dark dress, pale skin, long hair hanging down. Honestly, she looked like she came straight out of a horror movie. She didn't say a word, just opened the back door and got in. Ellie?" I asked. She nodded once, but didn't speak. Okay, whatever. I started driving toward the destination she'd entered, about 20 minutes away, toward the edge of a wooded nature reserve. At first, I tried making small talk. "Late night, huh?" No response. I glanced at her in the rearview mirror, but all I could see was her hair covering most of her face. She sat completely still. No phone. No movement. A few minutes in, I started getting this weird feeling, like the air in the car was colder than it should be. I checked the AC. It was off. I even rolled up the windows, but that chill stayed. Then I looked in the mirror again, and she wasn't there. I nearly swerved off the road. I glanced back over my shoulder. She was there, sitting perfectly still. But in the rearview mirror, the seat was empty. I stared back and forth, from the mirror to the actual seat. Nothing made sense. Suddenly she spoke, voice quiet and flat. "You missed the turn." I looked back at the GPS. No, I hadn't. We were exactly where the app said we should be. "I think it's right up ahead," I said nervously. She didn't reply, just went quiet again. A minute later, she said, "Stop the car." We were in the middle of nowhere. No streetlights. Just trees on both sides. I hesitated. Are you sure this is the spot?" "Stop." I pulled over slowly, heart racing. She opened the door and got out without saying another word. No goodbye. No thank you. She walked straight into the trees and disappeared into the dark. I sat there for a while, trying to calm down. When I finally pulled away, I checked the app to mark the ride as complete, but the trip had never started. There was no record of an Ellie on my trip history. Nothing at all. The app showed my last ride was the guy I dropped off before her. I reported it to the company. They said there was no way the system could have matched me with someone who hadn't requested a ride. That was when I stopped driving at night. But on the rare occasions I have to, I always check my backseat in the mirror, just to be sure I'm alone. If you made it this far, maybe you belong here. Subscribe to Whisper Cage, more true horror is waiting.